Hello! Today I'm
Bon-
joined by Louisiana Beer Reviews Ronald Theriot,
Bonjour, comment ça va?
all the way from Louisiana. I'm all the way here in the UK, Yorkshire. We both got the King of Beers. It says on the label there. Budweiser. To commemorate the World Cup, they've released some aluminium bottles in gold. Have you got the same one?
Yes, but my can is a normal shape can. Yours is a can in the shape of a bottle.
Yeah.
What size?
I think it's 473 mils. 400, there you go.
473. This is it doesn't say it's 1.9 ounces.
That's probably about 660.
25 ounces. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is 4.8%.
Uh-oh, mine is 5%. You have the English version.
Yeah.
Mine was canned on May 14th, so about a month ago.
Mine was 16th of the 4th, so it's 16th of April.
Yeah, still within the date.
Yeah. But yeah, it's commemorating the World Cup. I don't know if yours is the same. Rise as one.
Yeah. Same thing. Rise as one. It's got the trophy, and it even has some little information about FIFA on here.
I mean, the presentation already won me over. I paid £1.50 sterling for this one bottle.
Yeah, I paid $2.39 after tax.
So either way, you get a well-presented product which commemorates sport across the entire world of football.
Yeah. Now I have a question. What? Wait a minute. Stand up for a moment. Do it. I have to ask you a question. Do you now, or have you ever worked for Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch or InBev?
No, I got this from. I work at a cash and carry here in the UK, and occasionally we get reps, and they're giving out free merchandise. And I'm working on the shop floor, and I'm chatting to the guy every time, talking about beer and all stuff like that. And then at the end of it, when he's packing up and ready to go, he goes, "Here, have this," and give me a T-shirt. Granted, this is about ages old, because it's a bit tight on me now.
Uh-oh.
You got one as well?
Yeah, I purchased mine, but and I bought the cap, but they were inexpensive. And I was going to take the can out of this, but I forgot to. I was going to take the can out of this big wooden container.
Yeah.
It's a Budweiser container. It's wooden, and it's an old delivery box.
Very cool.
And they used to ship the Budweiser in those wooden delivery boxes on the old wagons.
Yeah. I can say that I've not had Budweiser for a while, because I try to support all types of lagers as well, from Polish, Lithuanian, American, British, Australian, all stuff, all different British.
I was curious why you decided to do Budweiser. I was a little surprised.
Well, when I saw it, I've been wanting to do Budweiser for a while, mainly just so I do another review with you, and when I saw this, I thought, I've got to get this. Jay will be like, yeah, let's get on this.
You're right.
And it's a pretty cool bottle, and I have to say, I will be keeping the bottle along with the cap, because it's very cool. Look at that.
Yeah, it's nice. I wonder if they've done it before. They possibly have.
I think we've had the another variation of it in our store before, but not this one. And as it's on the bottom, America.
Yeah, and you know about America because you visit here occasionally.
So let's crack this open. From Anheuser-Busch InBev. This is a pale lager. Trying not to damage the cap, so.
Oh yeah, cap. That's nice. Too bad it got bent.
Yeah, I'll try to be careful, but you can see the. Do you get these kind of bottles over your way?
Yes, in different sizes too.
Yeah.
I just didn't see one at the store. I saw the can, so I didn't want to,
No, that's cool. I think one of the first beer reviews we did was the Sapporo, and that was a well presented can. Bottle.
Definitely.
Using
those bottles, like you have those can bottles, are dangerous. You could use them as a weapon. You knock someone in the head.
It reminds me of the American batons.
Okay, you were going to describe your glass.
Oh, whenever I go to charity shops, I'm sure you've got charity shops over there. You call them something different. You call them flea markets and
thrift stores, yeah.
Yeah. If I pick up a glass I got from a collection down in cellar. So I managed to have a Budweiser glass, which again is like the crown and the king of beers, so it's pretty cool.
I did the same thing. I picked one up at a store, look, at one of those little thrift stores for about $1.
That's one of those where it's been remade into a glass, is it? Is it not? Or is it?
It's an actual glass from about 40 years ago. It's an actual glass from Anheuser-Busch from about 40 years ago.
That is very cool.
Wow.
And Budweiser is a well-rounded beer. I mean, why else would a lot of the people from across the entire world drink it?
Well, now we're stepping into controversy.
Yeah, because when I'm looking for the information for the title and such for the video, I use Great Beer to make sure I get the proper information of the brewer and the type of beer it is, and it just gets us overall 0.
Yeah, Beer Advocate says it's awful. Rate Beer says a 0.
Yeah.
But when I smell it and taste it, I don't even pick up what the people writing the reviews say. They say it has no flavor and no taste, but I certainly detect flavor and aroma. They say it has no aroma and taste. I detect aroma and flavor.
I've got the aroma. You do get that sweet candy corn smell, but it's not harsh. I mean, I've had some really terrible beers. I mean, I've watched some your recent lager reviews, and you've said, I think it was Boxer. And some other lagers that do have that real artificial smell and taste.
Oh, terrible, yeah.
Yeah, but no offensive aromas, no offensive taste so far.
I was talking to a man from Wales 3 years ago. He was visiting Florida, and I said, well, I want to ask you a question. He was drinking a beer, He was drinking a Budweiser, and I said, well, I said, you drink beer pretty regularly? Oh, yes, all the time. We go out, watch games on TV, we drink. I said, well, living over there in the United Kingdom in Wales, what would be the beer that you would drink there in a pub? He said, Budweiser. And I said, wow. I'm thinking to myself, all the choices he has, but he and his little gang of friends, that's what they drink, Budweiser. So that was impressive to me.
I can see no fault on this beer. The candy corn aroma and taste isn't that offensive. and it does get more palatable as you drink it.
Now, this beer is made with barley malt, water, hops, yeast, and polished rice. No corn.
No, I'm not. You get those. Those traditional lager.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. It's a very flinty mouthfeel.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I did purchase this, and it's a bargain at $150 because I'll get a really cool souvenir.
I agree. And it really is a very drinkable beer. You can see why lots of people drink it. I know some people in America, though, that say while they enjoy Budweiser, they don't drink it because it gives them a terrible headache. And I've talked to more than one person about that. It never affected me that way, but I suspect it has something to do with their yeast strain. It might not sit well with some people.
Well, I have noticed when I do have a session on lagers, I do get the headache next day. I think it's just because it's a lot of finer strain in it than normally craft beer or real ale, where you get more substance for your taste. It's a bit overcarbonated.
Now, some people claim Budweiser has chemicals in it and whatnot, but the company says it is made with absolutely no additives or preservatives. They were emphatic about that when I wrote an email to them. I said, someone is telling me you have such and such chemical in the beer, and they said we can absolutely, without reservation, state that none of our beers are made with any additives or preservatives. And that was their statement. I have no proof to the contrary.
No, I mean, yeah. If they say there's no chemicals in it, I'll believe them. Because the fact that you can have it in any part of the world, and this beer, and it'll taste exactly the same. The candiness is gone now. It's more of a ricey.
Yeah, and
Rice Krispies.
In America, and I'm sure it's similar in other parts of the world where it's brewed, there are 12 breweries in America, and every day, I think at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a sample is flown in from each of the 12 breweries, and they sit in an office, they call it a tasting room, in St. Louis, Missouri, and they taste the Budweiser to make sure that all 12 breweries are brewing it correctly. Now, that's a pretty expensive endeavor to do quality control, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot of brewers admire places like Budweiser and Carlsberg and Heineken for that reason, because they have that consistency.
Yeah, the thing I like about the big, the Big Six, Anheuser-Busch, Molson Coors, SAB Miller, Carlsberg Group, Heineken. Am I missing one?
SAB Miller, Coors, Anheuser-Busch. What's that one?
Heineken, Carlsberg Group.
Is it Minhouse? Minhouse. You had it the other day. Minhouse, is it?
How do you spell that?
M-I-N-H.
Oh, yeah, but they're not a big one. I didn't even mention Pabst, because Pabst is not big enough to be one of the top world. I'm talking about the top breweries in the world.
I mean, most of the European beers, like from Poland, Lithuania, and such, are all distributed via Heineken or Carlsberg.
Yeah. I drink craft beers all the time, of course, and so do you. So people can't say that we're some sort of advocates for macro lagers or that we have some sort of hidden agenda. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think, and we talked about. Go on. We talked about this last night. All we're trying to say is that we're refuting the contention that these type of beers are horrible or undrinkable.
Yeah, I think it was. was it your beer tasting the week? People were saying I would rather drink urine and stuff like that. I don't think you would.
No, that's just that's ridiculous. It's like it's making an outlandish statement, and I don't think that helps the craft beer world. That insecurity or that I'll call it an intimidation. It's almost like, you know, in the vampire movies when they show the crucifix and the vampire goes into a panic.
Yeah,
it's sort of like that. You have craft beer enthusiasts and you hold up a can of Budweiser and they go into a seizure. If you were confident, you wouldn't react. You know, you would just say, "Oh yeah, that's a beer. So what?"
You're also forgetting that a lot of the times Budweiser sponsor a lot of charity events and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So I can't. Final taste. So,
yeah.
How's your chicken?
It's good, and I ordered the spicy. So it's extra hot, and I think a lager goes very well with hot food.
My brother's a massive spice head. He got some chili pizzas the other day. Almost. Too much for me.
Too spicy, but
Yeah.
a lager really does cut the spice well, doesn't it?
Do you think it's due to that thin malty build in the body? I mean, beers like Cobra and Tiger also and Sapporo work well with spicy food.
Yeah, this beer definitely has body to it. I have a friend, and he says when you're drinking a Budweiser, you know you're drinking one. It does have some sort of hard to define, and I have trouble pinning it down, but there's some sort of character about it when you're drinking it that does distinguish it, although I can't say that I could tell it apart in a blind taste test, but there is something unique about it, which I have trouble describing.
Yeah, I thought it does have a similarity between Red Stripe lager and
Red Stripe from Diageo, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar in the flavors, but that's a really nice lager as well.
Oh, yes. Well, let me ask you this about Great Britain. We get Budweiser and we get Bud Light in America, but do you get any other variants in England like Bud, Ice, or...
I was out on a ale trail the other day. I think it was Friday past, and recently, two of the major supermarkets over here, Asda and Tesco's, had a 6-pack of Bud Light and a 6-pack of Bud Light Lime.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was tempted because I wanted to get those as well, so I could basically... but we already had a massive bag full of real ale and beer that we'd already purchased.
Well, Bud Light is very similar to Budweiser, except, as you would imagine, it's a watered-down version of it. And the Bud Ice is a little different. It's made with corn instead of rice, so that one is a little different. And they also make a Bud Light Platinum, which is a very strong variant. Very strong.
It's warming up pretty easily now.
It's warming up, and it's not taking on any bad thing. I tell you, it's a fizzy beer, though. It'll make you belch like mad if you gulp it, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm drinking it with no fuss. I can see why you would have it chilled because it's getting a little bit flat, a little bit placid. Where before you get a little snap.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you ever had it on draft, but if you go to the brewery in St. Louis and you get the fresh Budweiser ice cold out of the tap,
yeah,
you can't beat it really. It's so much better when it's unpasteurized, but of course they pasteurize the beer so that they'll have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Another thing, Beechwood aged, and it's croissant, double fermented.
Well, it don't mention much about the ingredients on my container. It just says in UK and distributed by AB InBev, UK Limited. Contains barley malt. That's all it says. 4.8%. Please recycle.
Yeah, the regular Budweiser cans will tell you choices, hops, rice, and best barley malt. And interestingly, some people contend that they've changed the recipe over the years, but if you look back, there's a collection online, very easily accessible, that shows all the Budweiser labels back to 1876. Wow. And they all say the exact same thing. So either someone went in a time machine and recreated the labels, or the people that claim that they've changed it are incorrect, because 1876, same thing, finest barley malt, rice, hops, and yeast. Of course, it was in German until 1908 that the labels were in German.
Now, a lot of people say it's not the king of beers. The thing is, they're probably right. It's not the king of beers, but in terms of you can have this any part of the world, and it'll always be the same.
Yeah.
When you have it again off tap. Whereas most craft beers or real ales, or you could have them on cask, keg, bottle, and they'll always be different.
Yeah, you're right. There's a little consistency issue there, a quality control issue. I think, when I did my 1000th video, I made a special video, and it was controversial, but I wasn't trying to be. But the name of the video was The World's Greatest Beer. Now, I didn't say the world's best beer. People took it wrong. I said the world's greatest beer, and I talked about Budweiser. That was the beer. And why did I say it was the world's greatest beer? Because of what you just talked about. The sales are astronomical.
And the fact that they can
the consistency is incredible.
Consistency. I mean, not every beer brewery can say they produce the same beer, no matter where it is. So I would actually say this is the king of beers, because no beer can basically put it any part of the world and have the same beer. No,
and I am sorry that England, Great Britain made you drop it to 4.8 because of the tax law. It used to be 5% there. Probably doesn't really change the taste much, but I don't. In my opinion, it's not just a regular old beer and ordinary. I really do, in my opinion, say it is good. It is quality, and I would recommend people trying it. Of course, most people probably have anyway, but I consider myself a fan of it, and no, I do not work for Anheuser-Busch InBev, nor have I ever worked for that company.
Yeah. Granted, would it be the beer I will go for in a store? No, I always go for different beers, or beers that I personally enjoy. But the fact that it's a beer that you can, no matter what I said before, wherever you go, it'll always be the same.
Yeah, and I think the Budweiser sales are not what they used to be, and I think here's the big reason for that. Okay, bear with me for just a moment. Here's the big reason. Here's the big reason that the Budweiser sales are not what they were 28 years ago. Now, 28 years ago, it was without any argument #1 around the world and in America by miles, okay? But what happened was Anheuser-Busch started to produce a numerous amount of other beers, very similar to Budweiser, right? A whole catalog. Well, you see, what happened was those beers cut into the sales of Budweiser, but they still were getting all the money, the company. So people go to the grocery store and they say, well, hell, why should I pay $10 for a 12-pack of Budweiser when I can pay $10 for a 12-pack of natural ice, which is just as good? You see, because their quality control is the same with all the other ones down the line, and the taste is similar. So they've basically cannibalized their own product, but I don't guess that's hurting them because it's all coming back to them. You look at the top 20 selling beers in America, most of them are actually from Anheuser-Busch InBev.
It's the same for a lot of the European beers that we see today. The majority of them are distributed via Heineken or SB Miller or Molson Coors. And I'm guessing Budweiser have got the fingers in a few pies as well.
Quite a few pies.
Yeah.
If you get on the InBev website, you would spend hours researching each of the beers they produce. It's incredible. And then you wouldn't even get all of them. There's so many they don't even feature them all because there's too many. So, yeah, do I buy Budweiser a lot? No, because when I go to the store to buy what I call a standby beer, right?
Yeah.
Something to stick in the fridge. I'm not going to drink $10 a can beers every day. I might buy, like I said, Natural Ice, which is an InBev brand, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch brand, because it's $3 or $4 cheaper for a 12-pack. But the quality is just as good, so why not go with the
temperature now is skyrocketing because of the heat wave across the world.
Yeah.
I guess it's super hot today, as it is here today. But thanks, Jay Theriot, for joining me for the Budweiser King of Beers. Yes,
and I want to thank you, Stuart, for inviting me to join you for Budweiser, the King of Beers.
Final taste?
Hold on.
Nice. You got a bigger can.
Very, very, very satisfying.
No faults from me.
And that's what counts.
Yeah. You take care.
Goodbye, England. You take care.